Hey everyone, this is Randy Nunez, your host on Between the Chalk Lines podcast, where it's all baseball talk all the time. And today I have a little bit of news, not a ton. We're gonna look at the standings. Teams have played over a dozen games, unless they've had postponed games or something like that. So unfortunately, some teams have had less games than others. Um, but for the big picture and what we're looking at, a short sprint with like 12, 13 games, literally. Um, it's it's looking good for some teams and looking bad for some others. So we're just gonna go through the American League this time. Last week I did a National League standings first. So this time the American League. Let's see who we got. In the American League East, the Yankees are on top with a 7-5 record. They are 5-5 in the last 10 games, so they're only playing 500 in the last 10 games. Mind you, that's only 12 games, if I have the math right in my head. Behind them, the Blue Jays, who we're going to talk about Jays especially, um, are 8-6 in second place, or well, in a virtual tie with the Yankees. The Red Sox third place, 7-7. Rays lost 2 to the Angels, are 5-7 now. And the Orioles are 5-8. So, like I said, this is a marathon, 162 games, not just 20 or 30. American League Central Tigers, not surprisingly to me, are still on top, but just barely. At 7-5. Royals 7-6, so they're half a game back. Guardians are 6-6, playing 500 this year so far. Twins 4-9, and in the back again. White Sox are 2-10, and 2 of those wins, I believe, were against the Angels. Sadly, in the opening series. American League West, Wild West. The Rangers and Angels are fighting out for the first place, but the Rangers are 9-4. Angels are 8-4. So just half a game back. Both of those teams are 7-3 in the last 10 games. So if they keep up this hot pace and play 700 ball, they can possibly go into two-way postseason shootout. Um, Behind them are the Astros, Astros are behind the Angels at 5-7, and then it's Mariners at 5-8. Athletics 5-8. So Mariners, Athletics fans, sorry, your teams are kind of just blah right now. The Athletics are 3-7 in the last 10 games. That is the worst besides White Sox, who are 1-9 last 10. And the Orioles, who are 3-7, who are also 3-7 last 10 games. So National League in the East, and the Mets and the Phillies are fighting it out again, yeah, 8-4, both of them. Marlins are 6-6. Nationals are 5-7. And you have the Braves at the very bottom, which I did not expect, I have to tell you, at 3-9. Then in the National League Central, we have the Cubs at 9-6 at the top, which I kind of expected with the help of Cal Tucker going to the Cubs. And then you have the Brewers at 7-6, just a game back of the Cubs. Cardinals are 5-7. Pirates at 5-8, and Reds are 5-8 at the bottom. Only 3 games back of first place, so it's not within. They're not canceled out. They're not totally out of this thing again. Like I said, most of these teams have played about 12, 13 games. Cubs obviously are different. They played 15 because of the Tokyo series. Padres are doing very well. They are 7-3 in the last 10 games and are 10-13 total for first place. This is gonna shock you guys. I bet you that you did not expect this coming from me to tell you that Dodgers are actually in third place. So we have Padres, Giants 9-3, Dodgers at 10-4, and then D-backs at 7-6, Rockies 3-9. Rockies are probably going to sit in the cellar all season long, but yeah, Dodgers have some ground to pick up. It's only half a game, but it's some ground. And they extended Jackson Merrill, their young star. We'll talk about that, as well as the Blue Jays extending first baseman Vladimir Guerrero Jr. for 14 years. I will pull up his contract actually. So Vladimir Guerrero Jr. got a 14-year deal worth $500 million, $500 million with the Blue Jays, including $325 million signing bonus, $500 million of that. So all is guaranteed, and an average annual salary of $35.7 million. So this boy set himself up to 40 years old, basically. His last year will be 39, and he'll get $29.4. And there are, he got that crazy signing bonus, which will go out through the entire contract. So basically, the entire contract will be 800 and I believe $35 million. So almost $1 billion for Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Granted, who's only 26 years old. This is his year 27 season. he's getting 40 million in 2026, 40 million in 2027, and then it drops to 39 in 2028, and just escalates lower and lower and lower. He does get incentives, if you're wondering, for MVP. If he wins MVP, he gets $150,000. If he gets second, he gets $125,000. If he gets third, he gets $100,000. And 50 grand each for All Star, Gold Glove, Silver Slugger, and World Series MVP if they go that far. As well as 25 grand for the LCS MVP. And I must push this. He has a no trade clause, full no trade clause. Think of it this way. You see Mike Trout on a floundering Angels team, kind of. Right now they're doing okay. But he said, I want a full no trade clause. I don't want to play for any other team but the Angels. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. basically said that, but I want almost $1 billion. He's getting the 500 million overall those 14 years, and then he's getting the 325,000 million. Sorry, through 2025 and 2039. So the life, the contract, basically, will get some cash for his signing. Dude is set for life. He could build his own mansion here. He could build a mansion in DR where his pops lives. Senior does come from the DR to California and the US from time to time. But I wanted to talk about that. And then I wanted to talk about Jackson Merrill. Sorry. It's not finding his contract for some reason. Let's see. Here we go. Here we go. Jackson Merrill, who's 21 years old, he's about to turn 22 in literally a week. Got 9 years and 135 million. They basically paid out his last pre-arbitration year and all his arbitration, and then some free agent years through the age of 31, with a club option of $21 million for his age 32 year in 2035. So this kid as well is set. He does have an escalator in 2035 if the club does choose to pick it up. The option escalates upwards $1 million for every top 10 MVP finish that he has in his career. So it starts at $21 million, but if he goes, top 10 MVP for 10 years here, or sorry, 8 years, um, then we're looking at $29 million for a 32-year-old. And that's not bad. And he also gets $1 million each time 500 plate appearances are passed. So if he's healthy, they want him to be healthy, basically. This is the kind of contract that all clubs should build, basically. And I agree with this extension. Young, you say, I want you to be healthy and I want you to play and hit. Do something. We'll do something for you. You do something for us. It's a win-win. And looking at hitting Fangraphs, if we're looking at WAR, just straight up WAR, an odd name comes up. Corbin Carroll, who's looked at as a future all-star, kind of guy. 1.3 WAR hitter. And then you got Aaron Judge, who's a 1.2, tied with, guess it, Al Tucker of the Cubs, a 1.2 WAR. And it drops off with Soderstrom, Abreu, Perdomo, have either a 1 WAR or less. Lonzo is not doing as well as I thought he would. Let's see what he is. No, yeah, he's 25th in walk rate. But if we look at his plate appearances, as far as strike zone, looking at the strike zone, he's in the top 10, actually, I believe. Sorry, top 15. 9.8. He only strikes out 9.8% of the time. He is hitting a healthy 333, though. So you can't complain with that. And he's hitting, he's got a 209 WRC plus. So he's worth every penny right now. And some brand new news. The Padres selected Tyler Wade, who made his way around the league in the utility place as they placed Jake Cronenworth on the 10-day injured list, retroactive as of April 9th. So he's got a non-displaced right rib fracture. Not a great thing to have, just gotta sit in bed and chill. The Royals also place player on the injured list, into Harvey. So, not quite sure. It looks like it's a teres major strain. Yeah, guys are already starting to drop like flies. I told you a couple of podcasts back. Why are all of these pictures and position players unsigned? I get it. You have a 40-man roster that can only have 40 men, and then you have the minor leagues. Who can you look at? The Mariners, they have infield injuries that they have to work on. Looks like Ryan Bliss is going to miss 4 to 5 months. They're suffering a tear in his left biceps and undergoing surgery. First baseman, Luke Raley, has shifted to the outfield in the wake of a fracture in Victor Robles' shoulder. Then he's out for 12 weeks. That's 3 to 4 months possibly. It's just crazy. That trade last year from Luis Urias going to San Diego looks bad now. Fantasy baseball. I want to talk about fantasy baseball. Ben Rice of the Yankees. He's under the radar. Get him now if you can. Same thing for Rafaela. The Boston Red Sox. He's normally listed as a utility guy that can play infield and outfield. Those are my two guys. I would say that kind of want around on your bench just in case. Just in case an infielder gets hurt or is not playing. Yeah, that's where I'm going to sign off here. Have a good weekend.